Thank you for tuning to Acquired Taste Media. Make sure you click the link in the bio, like, subscribe, you know what to do. Really appreciate the love. I should have had a brush. Where my brush at? Brush ain't down here. Anyways, you know what we do here, man. All black everything, black love, black relationships, black community, black wealth, all black everything. And today we're just talking about some backlash Kevin Hart has been getting. And this will be my maybe third time hearing, probably like my second time hearing this. So I'm going to listen to it again as well before I give my critique on it. But when I heard it the first time, it sounded very, it was just a vague statement. But let's hear it again so I can critique it again because I do have a few things to say about what he said.
One portion of the conversation that gained traction on social media.
Oh, and this is shout out to Comedy Hype News. They had a discussion on this as well. This is where I got this clip from.
Was Kevin's thoughts on how systematic racism keeps the hood impoverished.
If you look in the hood, you hear about it. There's liquor stores and check cashing places because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. You're going to get your check, and you're going to buy this liquor, and then you're not going to have no more money. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out.
All right, so off top, I'm going to say that that was incorrect. Everything he said was wrong. like, come on, Kev. Like, I would think that he would be a little bit more educated in these type of things.
Hour-long conversation. But
okay. So that's all everybody's, and I guess the part that he's mad about is that people aren't smart enough. Let's see some of the comments.
Especially coming from Kevin Hart. One user would write, Kevin Hart says the hood is full of liquor stores and check cashing payday loan places because people aren't smart enough to have bank accounts. These celebs get a little money and think they can comment on planned systematic poverty and financial exploitation.
And I think that's the biggest thing there. Let's go back a couple seconds. Comment on planned systematic poverty and financial exploitation. So when I hear that, and when I see people like Kevin Hart, you know, talking about poverty in the black community and what's keeping us and, you know, why we're staying poor, I would rather anybody that's black who's speaking about the issues going on in the black community actually speak about the systematic oppression and the systematic white supremacy, pretty much, that has traumatized and controlled the black community for ever since there was a black community. Okay. You know, I would have liked to hear him, you know, touch on redlining and things of that nature. Touch on, you know, because the thing about it is that it's not that we're not smart enough. Believe me, the people who, just because you see a nigga cash his check at the check cashing spot and go get some liquor, that don't mean he don't have a bank account. Like, he could still have a bank account. Nigga just choose not to go to the bank. He just want to run right quick, cash the check, go get him some liquor. Now, yes, he should have spoke more about the black community not having financial literacy so that we know how to budget and use our money correctly. He could have spoke about how the black dollar doesn't circulate in the black community. The black dollar stays in the black community for, I believe they said, less than 2 minutes or something like that before we're out spending it with another community. So when you're talking about poverty and people being poor, there are definitely examples of people who aren't educated enough, okay, who didn't graduate high school, who, based off of their life and their livelihood or whatever may have happened in their life, which I can guarantee has to do with some trauma, but people may end up poor or, homeless, whatever the case may be. But once again, I'm not saying you have to take the blame from the individual, because once again, individuals have to make their choices. But as a black person in this country, it's a lot different, okay? The reason being it's a lot different is because, once again, we're black, okay? And regardless of what people say, they see us coming. So when you can see a customer coming, you can prejudge off top. Most people do, okay? So, and I say that because when I used to sell phones and things of that nature, if I seen somebody white coming, I knew more than likely I'm about to make some money. I'm about to sell them. If I seen somebody black coming, I didn't think I wasn't going to make no money, but I did feel as though there's a possibility that this nigga's going to need a deposit. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why is just the color of our skins. We are prejudged before we even do things. So when I say this, I mean things like when we go into a bank for a loan. Like, we are more than likely not to get the loan. We may have the same qualifications as our counterpart, but because they're a different complexion than us, we are treated unfairly and wrong. Now, I even put up a post not too long ago where it just showed how white people treated, well, not just white people, but white people, some Asians, I think it might have been some Puerto Ricans in there. They treated this, it was a blind black man trying to get down the steps. And these people literally dogged this black blind man, right? He would try to grab their arm and they would pull away, right? And it was so sad because it shows how racist this country really is and how racist white people are to us. So just imagine living in a world where all the white people are in positions of power. They're in positions that can drastically change your livelihood, whether it be your job, whether it be the police, whether it be the judge and the court system. All these systems that can dictate a black person's livelihood are ran by the people who pretty much oppressed us and have always said that they don't like us and that they hate us. So I'm getting deep, so let me bring this back. Pretty much what I'm saying is you can't talk about poverty in the black community without talking about white supremacy, okay? Because look around the black community. How is it that a black person can't get a business loan so that he can open a small business in the community, but an Arab can come along and buy the biggest gas station on the corner? How is that even? What the fuck? Like, I can't get a business loan to start my little business that I want to start. But this person can come over from another country, get a loan or whatever he needs so that he can come to my community and start his business. You don't see them going out to the suburbs, starting their stores. Now, I will say one thing is that I have recently, like within the past year or two, I have seen some, and I'm not talking about Arab, but more Indians, I believe like Hindi and Hindu type people, opening stores in white communities. Now, a lot of these stores, though, I only see one. It's not like how it is in the black community where Arab owns every store in the black community. No. But they are giving them some leeway to have at least one business out in the suburbs where they're, selling, like just like a little, like it's like a nice corner store. You feel me? So it's like a nice corner store. They sell shells, beer, lottery, that type of stuff. You feel me? But it's it's being out in the suburbs. And the reason being is because, once again, there's black people in the suburbs. And I would say most of their business probably comes from their people and black people. Why? Well, honestly, I think black people probably would rather shop with Indian people just for the simple fact they probably get treated a little bit better. This is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Just my opinion. But yeah, so getting back to Kevin Hart, yeah, what he said was just completely ignorant. Like, it really was very ignorant. Like, he didn't say anything of any substance at all. And I'm just like, yo, you're on a big stage with, Grant Cardone, you know what I mean? Like, and y'all talking business. Like, you really should have been more, like, I would have, like, I don't know. I didn't see the whole, so let me say that too. This is just a snippet that I seen. So he may have went in more into depth, about, the different systems that have been put in place in the black community to keep us poor and to keep us restricted and things of that nature. I don't know. But if somebody has seen or somebody does have the whole thing and wants to send it to me, definitely send it to me. I'll check it out for sure. But yeah, and I mean, honestly, man, I do like Kevin Hart. I watch his movies. I watched Heart to Heart when he have certain people on his show and stuff like that. So, I don't know if I don't know because I swear on Heart to Heart, he says things about like, black white supremacy and black stuff. But you know what? I'm not gonna say he says a lot about it because he doesn't, and the reason being is probably because he can't. Where does his checks come from? So he could probably just go so far when it comes to talking about white supremacy and, or white people putting these systems in place to keep black people in poverty. But I mean, whenever you're talking about black people and being poor and why there's something going on in the black community and what it is, like I say, we definitely have to take some responsibility for our actions and the things that we do as individuals. But once again, when you also look at the system that you're working in and the system that you're living in, and you start to look at that, then you start to really, it definitely causes trauma, but then you start to really have to be able to say, okay, because I think a lot of times as we grow up when we're children and we go through certain things, we feel like, damn, the world is against us, or there's something against us, or why can't I get this, or why can't I get that? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Why are they bothering me? Why aren't they bothering them? What did I do? Because I remember being harassed by cops and all that other crazy shit. And as a child, that's how you feel. Like, what did I do? Why are you treating me like this? Why, you're the police. Like, and I'm never going to say that I was always innocent because I wasn't, but still, the interaction itself it was the difference between when I did some shit wrong and I was getting messed with, that's different. But there was a lot of times niggas would just be walking up the street. Niggas would just be coming out of store. Niggas would just be doing nothing. And the police would come and harass us and fuck with us and make us feel a certain type of way towards law enforcement, towards police. So, so yeah, I mean, it's a lot that we would have to take in when we come to talking about black people being poor in the black community. I mean, even getting to talking about why there are so many check cashing spots and liquor stores in the black community. And once again, those check cashing spots and liquor stores are owned by people of other cultures. They're not owned by us. So we shouldn't be spending our money there anyway. But we don't have a choice because a lot of times we don't have transportation to get to certain places and things of that nature. So, it's a big ball of shit. Like it's just a big ball, a bunch of shit that they done piled in the black community to make it so to make it as hard as they possibly could for black people to be successful. But that's why us as black people, as parents, we have to raise our children, to be better. We have to raise our children to stay away from liquor and drugs and things of that nature. We have to teach our children financial literacy so that they know how to budget their money. They know how to use their money. They know how to use their money as a tool. Teach our children about stocks and bonds and investing in things and not looking for instant gratification, but knowing that I can invest in something and in the next 10 years, I'll have, a lot more money because of the investment that I made, because I'm being smart and using my money as a tool and not just letting my money sit in a bank doing nothing. Because that's another thing that, I don't even know why. Well, once again, that's a totally different discussion. But if I was talking to people about money, then the first thing I'm going to say is you shouldn't be putting your money in a fucking bank account anyway, because that ain't doing nothing but that's just you're just wasting money doing that. You need to have your money in some type of stock, some type of bond, IRA. Your money needs to be working for you. Money is a tool. It is not to be just spent. It's to be used to make more money. That's what money is for. So even him saying them having a bank account, like, come on, man. Like, we got to start really giving this game to our people. And I mean, I know, well, once again, like I said, Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart. And, he has his people, he has his handlers. I think that's what they call them. They have their handlers that tell them what to do and what they need to say and what not to say, what to stay away from, things of that nature. And I mean, they do that because it's business. He has a brand. So it's certain things that he probably going to be able to like, all right, I'm going to rock with this, or I'll say this. And then sometimes he's going to be like, I can't say that because I got a new movie coming out and I, don't want to ruffle any feathers. So I get it. But yeah, so that's all I had to say about that. Definitely check it out. This is a whole breakdown and discussion that they talk about on here with about Kevin Hart, and it's a decent discussion. We could have broke it down, but I don't really want to go through that discussion because it was a lot. So, but like I say, everybody just needs to stop beating around the bush when people ask them about the black community and why the black community is the way it is, and just start saying flat out white supremacy, bro. Systematic oppression. All right. That's why the black community is the way it is. Okay. That's why, and I hate to say it, but churches in the black community is another reason the black community is the way it is. They've taken so much money from the black community and haven't put anything back into it. And from what I understand, and this is just from, I think I heard this from Dr. Umar Johnson. He said something that the reason that they don't put their money back into the black community is because they have something going on with the government. Like they get government funding and stuff like that. So in order to continue getting the government funding and things of that nature, they have to do what the government says. And I believe one of the stipulations is probably, nigga, this is you just use money for church shit. But I mean, even in that, they couldn't do that, man. Like, I don't know, man. The churches, I think, is a big issue in the black community. Not saying God, but just the ideology of religion and having to give somebody your money every week and not seeing any return on your investment. Hoping that the return on your investment is a blessing, something that you can't see or something that just magically happens. And that's just not smart business at all. Like, I would never invest my money. I would never put my money in somewhere knowing for a fact that I'm not getting anything out of it. Oh, I might get a blessing. I might get a blessing. Depending on how much I give you, depends on what the blessing I get. Nah, I can't rock with that. So yeah, so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons the black community is the way that it is. Okay, and it ain't just because we don't have bank accounts. All right, it has a lot more to do with systematic oppression than bank accounts. So I would just love for some of these black millionaires and some of these black individuals, on these platforms talking about business and talking about money, really talk about it. Cause like EYL, I shout out to Earn Your Leisure, man. Great platform. I do follow them, and they do really be talking that talk. So I definitely rock with them. If you don't know who they are, you could just put Earn Your Leisure and YouTube, and all their stuff will come up. And they have a lot of good information about business, about, getting up out the black community, about, making money, about investments, about making your money work for you. So yeah, definitely check them out. Dope podcast. Dope movement, period. Oh, make sure you get with this movement. Quiet Taste Media. You know what it is, man. Really appreciate the love. Peace.